everyone, and welcome back to What's on My Bookshelf. So today I've got some creative painting books and a book just about creativity that definitely pertains to creating and painting and any type of creative that you are. So Conscious Creativity, Look, Connect, Create by Philippa Stanton. So this is a book that I've had from the photography time, and it kind of goes through defining what kind of creative you are and giving you some structure and some practice and what's your obstacles, looking around and documenting the things around you. And it's just very interesting to me to look at the different parts of the book and the creativity that's in there. It gives you some questions to ask yourself about what kind of creative you are, your creative preferences. Those are going to help you define style. You know, your style is just a series of figuring out what you love and don't love, and then using all the things you love and the marks that you love and the colors and the shapes and the styles and the different types of things that you end up loving out of everything that you try. And then people begin to recognize the things that you've created, because then you get into a look that, you know, is very familiar to people with your favorite colors and your favorite marks. And with me, it was with the way that I edited photos and the subject matter that I chose and the lenses that I picked with my photography and the way that I chose to photograph things. And then this just takes you through different aspects of creativity and questions to ask yourself. So I love how this book helps you kind of define some of that stuff for yourself and then gets you into how to document your ideas. And while this book has lots of photographs in it, which at the time really appealed to me as a photographer, it appeals to me as a painter and artist in every aspect also. So this is definitely a book that I come back to over and over because of the concepts and the ideas and the examples that it puts together for you. It's just a beautiful book. So that is Conscious Creativity by Philippa Stanton. This book is interesting. I'm not a portrait person. You know, I might work my way towards that, you know, later. I don't know, but it's not been the thing that I've gravitated towards till this point. When I was a kid, I drew comics because I was really into a few of the comic books. So I did draw characters at that point. In my photography, I did do a lot of practice of portraits and things just to say that I did it and to see if I would like it. And I got to tell you, I like photographing flowers way more than photographing people, because a flower is pretty and it stands there and you can take it inside and work at it in your studio. Whereas people, you have to direct, and hopefully everybody's looking the same way. And I was good at it, but I just don't, it's not my thing. So Mixed Media Portraits with Pam Carriker, Techniques for Drawing and Painting Faces. So while I preface all that to say I'm not really a portrait kind of painter, I do find a lot of the ideas and examples in some of the books very appealing. Like this, I just love this whole look of this. I love the texture of the backgrounds. I love that it could be any person. It's not a specific person. I mean, we see a face there, but it's not like a person I recognize. Maybe it's a person in her family or something. I don't know. I just like the concepts. I like the wheel. I like the texture. So some of these pieces, even though, you know, I may be drawn to them visually, how to use this book. It's got some interesting drawings and stuff there. Keeping a sketchbook and art journal. I like doing that. And then it's got some different artists here. But yeah, even though, you know, I may be attracted and I may purchase things with faces on it, it's not necessarily what I was, you know, meant to create. But maybe later, maybe that's what I'm meant to create later. I don't know. This right here super appeals to me also. I love that. So you got into some basics up here and some proportion, self-guided face mapping, so how to draw the face in different angles, which, you know, a lot of people learn this stuff in art school, and we studied it when I was in art school also. Breaking things down into shapes and then, you know, defining those as you go along. So that's a very well-known way to figure out how to draw faces and get the proportions and everything correct. Lights and darks, using a head mask to help you out there. So it's got lots of really good how to get started, the different parts of the face, the things that are important there, and then love this right here. So I just love the style that she creates in Chapter 3, Personality, how to give your figure, face, head a personality, and the things that you have to go around it. And it gets into tonal values and skin tones and what colors create those skin tones. And then it gets into different projects that you could create. So I think I can, you can really see why some of this would appeal to me, especially the texture part of some of these. And as far as, creating faces and stuff, maybe one day I'll be like, I think I'm going to create faces this year or what have you. I love that she uses different materials to draw on, like an old paper bag. This would go really good in that Dina Wakley journal where it's got the brown paper pages and the canvas pages and the watercolor pages. I love this right here. I love all the texture and pattern and design work that's around the face. Like that whole thing without the face would be a gorgeous piece of art that I'd definitely work on, and it kind of shows you how she goes through the steps in that project. So it's stencil work, which we know I love. Using a jelly plate here and then doing some collage work on top of it. So lots of great ideas in here. So even if you're not a portrait artist, sometimes you can get great ideas and techniques and examples off of books that are of a subject matter that you might not have thought of, but then you see it and you're like, ooh, look at all of it. How did she do this or how did she do that? So this is a good one. Mixed Media Portraits with Pam Carriker. And then we've got Bold Expressive Painting, Painting Techniques for Still Lifes, Florals, Landscapes in Mixed Media by Anne O'Brien Gonzalez. I love the color here. I just love different, bold, expressive, abstract kind of painting techniques and seeing what others do. I really love this abstract floral plant. It's not really a floral, it's a plant with the leafy things, but I just like seeing, what others have figured out. This right here, I love, 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 love. I love that too. So this is definitely right up my alley as far as style goes. Now this creating an inspiration board is really handy for a lot of people. These are very popular. I haven't really got on the inspiration bandwagon. I'm more of a Pinterest pinner maybe, but as far as the physical boards, I've gotten the boards, I've pulled pieces together, I don't know, I just don't keep up with it. It's not the thing that guides my inspiration, but it is fun if this is, how you like to visually pull an idea together. I mean, this is really big in interior design, pulling an inspiration together for a whole house. So, I've been doing this type thing since I was in my early 20s, 18 to 20 something in school and stuff, because we made boards for design projects and stuff. And so I know how to do them and I've done them in the past, but that's not my thing. I want it to be my thing. I keep trying to make it my thing, but it's just not my thing. So learning from artist ancestors, how fun is that? Painting notes. So lots of different fun projects in here. Art element scheme. Things to just kind of get you thinking and get your creative juices going. Ooh, I love that. Time for tea. This painting incorporates many items from my personal collection as well as symbols and shapes I love. The vintage vase, the teapot, and the salt shakers are from my collection, and the patterns on the textiles and walls come from my library of sketches in my painting notes. How cool is that? Really reminds me of the Helen Wells stuff that she creates. Very heavily creates in her sketchbook and then translates those ideas into paintings, and they're bright and colorful and different motifs and a lot of vases. So it really reminds me of a lot of her work, who I find just very inspiring lately. I love that right there. A lot of abstract work with a vase in it. So just lots of fun stuff. Explosive color, choosing a palette. kind of like some basics, and then you get into some other techniques, 3-value scale. Ooh, look at that. And then some quick tips, composition options. So it takes you through a whole lot of basics and some basic projects, getting you just some skills to get you started. Mixing greens, still life. Ooh, look at that. Still life with creative green mixtures. I love that a lot. Look at that. Oh, I love that. This kind of reminds me of some of the old masters paintings. It's an oil painting that utilizes an analogous color scheme of blues, violets, and purples with the additional complex mixture of neutralized greens. I mean, that right there is just gorgeous. Like, that could be a painting that maybe would be an interesting master study, just to kind of look at it. Because when you do a master study or even a contemporary artist study, you start looking at the different elements, you start zooming in on different parts and saying, okay, what is this made up with and created, and what else do I see in here, what other lines and things, and you really start to break down all the different elements of the painting. Whereas if I just look at it and kind of skim past it, you don't see all of the things that make that up. You just see an overall impression of the painting. Oh, I love that one. Like, love. Mixed media paintings. So lots of good stuff in here. Ideas, exercises, collaging. I mean, tons of inspiration. Mixed media underpaintings, kind of just breaking all the elements down for us. Oh, I love that. I do want to kind of, going back to that one, I would like to, for my own personal project thing, I would kind of like to go through and do a whole series of abstract floral paintings. Maybe for myself, maybe in a sketchbook, just to kind of explore this kind of style and feel, because I already love the flowers. I've already explored some of that a little bit, but I want to dive deeper, and this one speaks to me. So yeah, this book, ooh, that one speaks to me too. I just love texture, color, pattern, how your eyes move around. I like that there's nothing in the photo, in the painting. This has really appealed to me for just decades, because, you know, I even made a whole business on making textures to put into photos, and this right here could have been a texture that I made to put into a photo and blend in and get all the elements kind of popping through with the photo that I took. So abstract color, texture, pattern, marks, an all-time favorite for me. I love collecting it. I love creating it. So this book, Bold Expressive Painting, definitely one where I want to go bookmark that one page with the florals and come back and look at it some more. Let's just do that. Just bookmark it and be like, haha, come back to that one. This book is super fun. Painting Imaginary Flowers. Again, right back on the expressive flower theme. Beautiful Blooms and Abstract Patterns in Mixed Media by Sandrine Pellicer. And I'll link all these below. If I butcher the name, I apologize. And again, right back to that look that I love. The dramatic flower, the pretty vase and type of table. And in this one, they've done the white out of the background, so you could very easily like paint the whole sheet and then white it out to a specific design or pattern or what have you. And I actually have several pieces of art in this style that I've collected from other artists. One of them is a horse, and it's all painted underneath and then blocked in so that you see the thing of the horse. It's super cool, hanging in my foyer. So that's a look that I already love, and I want to experiment and explore more. There's just so many things to explore and so many ideas that I just haven't gotten to this one yet. Look at this one, yummy, yummy. Right up my alley with the whole floral theme that I want to explore. I may just do a whole personal project on that. So it goes through some of your basics and mounting and mediums, and all the books kind of start with the basics. And then as we get further back, painting an abstract background. So she kind of shows you how, you know, she's painted the whole background and then defined certain areas and whited out the area around it to simplify it. But look how gorgeous that one is. And I'm not even like a all green kind of person, but that one's super cool. Red and green, you think, you know, and usually you would think those colors would be like Christmas, but look how cool that is. And I don't really feel Christmas. I mean, you could feel Christmas there, but not too bad. So it's going through the color schemes. I do love this blue green. What? I love it. Dropping paint and ink and backgrounds and interest. So it's giving you tons of techniques on creating those backgrounds, making adjustments, kind of working the different elements in the background. And that's kind of what these look like. You know, you start painting and you're thinking, oh, I don't know where this is going. And this is kind of where you're thinking the ugly phase, maybe I should throw it away. But then that's when you know, don't throw it away. And you go the extra step to be like, okay, how can I problem solve and get to a finished piece? Which we see me do this every week on a video, and you see the good, the bad, and the ugly with mine. And then by the end, we've somehow made something that's pretty cool. So the same thing with this. You start off with the good, the bad, and the ugly, and when you weight those in and define different shapes, you end up with something super cool. Oh, it's my favorite way to create. You just gotta keep a positive attitude and look at pieces like, okay, what do I like about this piece and the elements, and then how can I take what I like forward, rather than looking at it thinking, oh, this is terrible, I should just throw it away. It's a mindset for me. It's like, what do I like? Where can we go? What can I create today? And then I get excited wherever I end up because I'm taking all the elements forward and I don't have the expectation of having to create something specific. Because when I try to do it in photography, I nail it. Like, I have something in my mind, I create it, we get there. In the end, what I envisioned is what we created. Look at these patterns. Create complex patterns from simple shapes. I really love how she's broke down some of these patterns from the start to what we add to where we end up. So this is a great little resource back here on creating to get to the final piece. I love that. Like, you could have a whole book of just pattern creating and getting to your final piece just to have as a reference guide for yourself. Oh, I love these. Yeah, so that's kind of how I've gotten from being angry at my art table to loving every piece. No matter if no matter if I got to where I expected to go or not, I've let go of those expectations. So then wherever I end up with is good. I'm like, whoa, look where we ended. This is really good. Having your own pattern guide, which is what I was just saying. But you can have it on index cards and have a little ring holding them together, and having your own little flip through guide that you can then have to look through. I have a lot of patterns that I've put on paper, and then I've had them hanging on the walls here behind my desk for quite a while, and that's kind of nice because then you can just look up, reference something, and then go back to working without having to find where you put that little book that you made. So sometimes right up in your face is the most handy, but look at how gorgeous all of these are. Like, I love that one. Whoa. And then she even goes through like assessing the work when you're done. Do you have enough contrast? Does it look balanced even if you flip it over? What does it look like coming in from the side and turning it different directions? And then she does go through varnishing and hanging. So this is a super fun book with lots of good ideas. Just having the back here to see the different paintings is very inspiring, and you can see where that pattern guide comes in handy, because now you can use that to create the vases and the bases there. You can use stencils to do that, which I already use stencils a lot, and stencil and base work, and then you can mark make in on your different pieces. So lots of things that I already do that I can look at and say, oh, let's incorporate this in a new way. So this was a super inspiring book, Painting Imaginary Flowers by Sandrine Pellicer. Expressive flower paintings, simple mixed media techniques for bold, beautiful blooms. You can see here we got a little theme going with the flowers, but sometimes when I get a subject on my mind, or I see somebody show a book that's already in a subject or theme that I like, I feel like I just need to add it to my library. It's ridiculous. I'm kind of like that with art supplies. I need all the books and I need all the art supplies. And if you come into my house to see what random things I hoard when I'm an 80-year-old lady, it's probably going to be books in my library of different creative genres, because I am like a little butterfly and I tend to flit from fun thing to fun thing. And through the years, that's manifested it in fashion design and interior design and painting and drawing and crochet and knitting and jewelry making. And I made teddy bears for several years, and that was way before social media, so I don't even know how I thought I was going to sell my teddy bears, because then you had to actually go to art fairs. And I don't know that 25 years ago people were buying little tiny expensive teddy bears as much as I wanted them to, and how many of those do you have to make to even make a living? So I was a little bit unrealistic. Look at that flower. That right there, super inspiring. I want to create that right there. So this book, Expressive Flower Painting, so she goes through getting permission to play and have fun and move your hands and get loose. It's only a layer, you know, it's only paper, it's only paint, it's only a layer, and you can put stuff on top of it. Expanding your flow, celebrating instincts, filling your cup of inspiration, looking around. Art supplies. So again, her basics is what we start with in this book: work space and reflecting on your space. And then you get different fun projects and such as you go further back in ideas. And here's some little behind the scenes. One simple sunflower. Just kind of breaking down some of your basics here. Exploring your voice, painting bigger and bolder, building a style. So she goes through different elements and chapters in this one. Got lots of finished mark making and elements I love. Already like painting a layer down below and topping it with marks. And so this right here speaks to me with her painting the flower and then topping it with some type of pastel or crayon or paint pen. So that right there is an element that I already incorporate into my work. And then it's something just to be like, oh, look how they've used that. So lots of recognizable things that maybe you already do in a different way. So this is just a fun, inspiring book. Her process, how she gets through the different layers and the mark making and finishing. So this is super inspiring. So there we go. 5 more books off my bookshelf that I have found inspiring through the times. Hope you enjoyed a look through these, and I'll see you guys next time.